Hi, FANGs DOOWOP here. If you've been in in the interest of comic books for as long as I have, you find that you get that you find tropes and patterns. And one of the most popular that I hear all the time is, why are there so many black superheroes who have electric or lightning-based powers? I'm not here to talk about the list, because there's a freaking lot of them. Storm, Black Lightning being prominent. I'm here to talk about the one nobody ever talks about. And I assume it's because it's not one of your mainstream big two, Roman pillars of the community. It's the Savage Dragon. And we all know, if you know, the Savage Dragon is bad AF. BAF. This is a cover to issue 8. In issue 7, Dragon is thrown off a building by a bad guy. And then he's skewered by some smaller building, like a church thing or whatever. It has a big pointy. And then, it's at the beginning of 8, there's like 4 pages of him just crawling the fuck. There he is. Oh my god. Wait. Yeah. There he is, skewered. So that's the beginning of issue 8. The end of issue 8, the bad guy that didn't kill him right sends 2 guys to kill him, and they fight the whole issue. And then at the end, we see the on-again, off-again interest, Sharona Jackson. Sharona Jackson was hired by Dragon and the police, Chicago police, to be on a superhero police-run unit called Freak Force. They end up forming a romance right about here, and then we're going to move on down the line here. So then, issue 23, She-Dragon. After Dragon's been missing, She-Dragon busts into the police station being all, crappy. And Sharona Dragon is, she's not Sharona Dragon, she's Sharona Jackson. It's all grievy. Look at the way Eric Larson thought women looked in the 90s. I don't even know what I'm looking at. Anyway, but this is all important because building up. So she has electric-based powers. Issue 22, Ninja Turtles. Fine. But we get her using her electrical powers and threatening a handicapped orange critter she hangs out with. I think they share an apartment together. This is horrendous. Check out the water stickies. Oh, yeah. So, moving on. This all has a point. Super powered characters who have electrical-based powers who Sharona Jackson falls into. However, she gets pregnant. And they do a whole shebang. Look at this shebang. I'll show you the shebang. They did it like the death of Robin back in the 80s. You call a number or send in something. And this is issue 27. And she says, Dragon, will you marry me? And I think he tells her no. And then she comes back and he's crying, I'm so sorry, I don't know what to do with that. He's sucking up. And then she says, Dragon, listen to me. She has no face. You think with electrical-based powers she could light up the room a little better. He goes, Snap, he's a sad hero. And then I'm pregnant. Moving on. One of my favorite characters from comics in the 90s is the Max. The Max lives in a half dream world, half reality, and he stumbles into the dragon's life right when the dragon is trying to decide if he should marry Sharona or not. So, we get little Hortus. We get little Max Man trying to be friends. He says, oh, next panel. Nothing. Next panel. So, they hang out. But because the Max is there, his dream world shit is shifting into Dragon's imagination, and they're fueling this, whatever that is. I mean, I know what it is. But boy, can Eric Larson draw fetuses climbing out of a woman. Way to go, E.L. So you know what he says to make things really good with her? They're standing there, and there's her hand. And there he is. And he says, of course, oh, are you sure it's mine? Now, I'm not a woman, and I've never been in this situation on the other end. She says, get the F out. But I'm pretty sure women in general who end up being pregnant don't like being asked if it's theirs, if they're coming to you telling you it's yours. Now, the thing was, when she visited him in the hospital, he had recently had his wiener rendered off, and he had previously been told that he was sterile. Well, after his healing factor grew his wiener back, he became not sterile. So this is the cover to 33, where Dragon is literally going, choke. And then, I mean, that's a cover to a comic book. That is a cover. Look at that shiznit. Alright, so that's the baby being delivered. And then we see the little baby. That is Malcom Jackson Dragon. Now, cut to however the hell many years later. I think Eric does the real-time stuff somewhat. So, like, you know, this was in the mid-90s. So now, this guy, Malcom Dragon, ugh, there she is, looking all nicey new. Malcom Dragon's all grown up, and the Savage Dragon's all whatever. You know, the Paul Dragon, I think they call him, or Dragon. And finally, the comic is literally called now. Oh, look at this shit. She gets all crickly crackly. So, Sharona Jackson is a superhero, a black superhero with electric powers that is never mentioned on these lists. And her and the Savage Dragon's son, Malcom Jackson Dragon. The bad guys got him. I don't reckon. Malcom Jackson Dragon, who not only looks like a dragon, and his mother was a black lady, but he somehow not only inherited his father's green skin and fin and musculature, he also inherited mama's electric powers.